Hello everyone, welcome back to the SN studio with me DC and
me Pardo.
Papa P.
Captain Pardo.
Yeah, Praetorian Pardo.
Praetorian Pardo, yeah.
We basically thought we'd sit down and explain some of the big changes that are going to be going on here at SN, and then also delve into the background of why those changes are taking place, so that you as a community can obviously understand the content you're going to be seeing going forward and all the future of SN as a channel, and also as event organizers and everything else.
Exactly, and I think many of you at home have been waiting for this video for a long, long time. I think it's something that you have been waiting for or known that this is coming, and I think it's very, very important for us to sit down here and explain to you guys who are our fans. What you guys are the people that actually keep the lights on, and obviously we are here for you as well. So it's very important to explain everything.
I think so. First and foremost, let's just get it out the way. The big change and announcement is, drum roll please, that SN is going full Horus Heresy. Yeah, it's the right thing to do.
Yes, at this time.
Now, you're probably scratching your head thinking, hang on a minute, why full Horus Heresy? Why not 40k? Why not Old World? And there are a few reasons behind that that are important and sort of reasoning for the decision to go full Horus Heresy. Starting off, let's begin, shall we do with 40k?
Yeah, so 40k, obviously, we've built a channel around 40k. 40k is basically was our main game for many, many years. We're going on to 10 years now of SN in a month's time, which is crazy. Obviously, we haven't been on YouTube for so long. I think it's 5 years on YouTube. But I think it's felt like this edition isn't for us. We've tried to get into it, and it's just an edition that we are not enjoying at the moment. And for us, here at the studio, it's very important to come in and enjoy what we're doing. And 40k is just, at this time, not doing it for us. So it's more of a see you later and not a goodbye.
Yeah.
And we will see in the future if we see a new edition or a new update that we think 40k is now the time to get back into it. But for now, and we don't want to get really stuck into 40k because this update is not about that.
No.
Basically, we think that 40k we're not enjoying 40k at the moment, and it's very important for us to enjoy it.
Yeah,
enjoy the game.
Exactly. I think if you still enjoy 40k, that's amazing. It's not a case of us kind of being detractors on 40k itself.
Yeah.
But when we play the game, we still enjoy it overall.
Yeah, we still play,
but we don't have that driving passion to really put our time and effort into the game system. So it leans into, for us, where Horus Heresy fits with the style ethos that we do as wargamers. We love to play more war games, and I think 40k, for right or wrong, is leaning into the kind of the tournament style, competitive style gameplay, and the game is catered that way in many respects. And we can have a discussion about that, of course, another time. But the point is that the way we feel at the moment is that how we play in terms of terrain on the tabletop, in terms of how we play, interact as with players as each other, it leans more into Horus Heresy.
It feels like Horus Heresy is built for SN, or SN is built for Horus Heresy. Like DC has already stated, we love beautiful thematic tables, we love gorgeous armies as well, we like to play narrative-driven games, and it just makes sense. It is what we enjoy, and when we come here to record for hours and hours, we need to enjoy what we're doing. And when we come into the studio and record and play Horus Heresy, we really enjoy it. And I think it's very, very important to actually carry on doing that as the months progress.
On top of that, there is also some amazing 40k content creators already in existence. They're out there. As you can imagine, there is a lot of competition in people's time. That's probably the biggest commodity everyone has in terms of their time to give to watch the content they enjoy. And we feel that if there's already amazing stuff out there for content creators, then we can cater to a different element within the hobby that we all love, that we feel that we can give the most to. So, and that means basically, instead of as a team giving
40 hours into 3 different systems. So this is something that's very important. I think it's, you guys at home don't really see it because it's what happens behind the scenes, which isn't your fault. But just for an explanation, if I have 40 hours a week to push into SN, when we're doing 3 game systems for the likes of 40k, Horus Heresy, and Old World, I have to split those 40 hours into 3 different games, plus my editing, plus my social media. Right now, if we only go into one game, which is the game we enjoy and the game we feel SN is basically built for, I can put those 40 hours into one game, having more content, more battle reports, so much more ideas, which we've always wanted to do, but just don't have the time invested to actually push it forward.
As I mentioned about time being that biggest commodity, it is also for us in terms of making that content.
Yeah.
Now, this also segues quite nicely onto, well, DC, what about Old World? We know you love Old World, and I do. I am super passionate about Old World.
Yeah.
And it was my intention to try and push it forward. But we'll explain a little bit more of why that can't happen.
Yeah.
But it also leans into the whole aspect of what Pardo was saying about time management and how if you're a Horus Heresy fan and you come to the channel, you know you're going to get dedicated Horus Heresy content and varied content. You're not just going to get battle reports, you're going to get list analysis, army displays, everything in between.
Which we couldn't do before just because time was precious for us. And I think it's very important that we do deliver not only battle reports, but list analysis, army reviews, event reviews, and we want to do all of that. So having that time to push into one game is great. Apart from that, it's money investment as well. When you're doing 3 separate games, armies cost a lot. Most of our armies are commissioned. Some of you have commissioned armies. You know how expensive that is. So again, money investment going all into one game to get extra units, to get extra armies is much more suitable than actually going into multiple systems.
And it adds into the value for you as a consumer, as a watcher, whether you're just a subscriber that just watches for free view, or whether you pay for extra content SN Plus, or whether you're one of our amazing Patreons that gives extra support. The point is that without the investment that you have from these different game systems, you can put everything into the Horus Heresy, as Pardo mentioned, which means you're going to get more value out of the more content you're going to get based on the game system you love, and then also more variety in terms of the armies and everything else, rather than trying to appease everyone and spread out that. Because at the end of the day, guys, we are still a very small team, and this is very much still a passion and project and a hobby rather than a full-time job.
A business, apart from that, I just want to mention, I think it's quite important as well that the commitment and the, what's the word I want, from you Horus Heresy fans. Dedication from you Heresy fans has been actually quite an eye-opener for us. Because for the likes of our memberships, we've had so much more memberships coming in for Horus Heresy than the 40K that we have been trying to do for many, many years. So you have been very, very supportive. And I think that's something that is very important to the channel. If the channel wants to survive, we need to get supported. And many of you have been doing that. With both our videos, comments, likes, sharing. It's been great, and I think that we're really appreciative of that as well.
And well, let's be honest, completely honest with you guys. Obviously, that's a big part of the push is that we obviously love Horus Heresy, but on top of that, as there is less competition in the market of Horus Heresy content, and we can be a home for the Horus Heresy community, it just means that you get more value for it, but also the support from the community you've seen, because they've gone, wow, there is actually a place we can watch content and discuss about Horus Heresy and everything in between, and associate with all the events that SN does. It's like a home for Horus Heresy. Whereas, obviously, when we were trying to do 40K content and others, it's too much. And on top of that, as you said, there is a whole plethora of channels out there that do amazing content. So it's more difficult to try and attract your time to watch the shows.
Yeah, exactly. And just to finish off as well, as a channel, I think it's much easier to just push for one game element, because it was the channel looked a bit confusing. Like what is the channel? Is it a Horus Heresy channel? Is it a 40K channel? Is it an Old World channel? What is it? So I think that was a bit confusing, and that wasn't helping the channel actually progress and expand to what we wanted it to be. So again, basically, this is the biggest update is basically that we will be going full Horus Heresy. So comment below, let us know what you think, and I'm sure a lot of you are very excited about what is coming in the next few months. Now, you have briefly touched base with events, so I think that's the next thing we should be talking about. So do you want to talk a bit about what's happening with our events?
Yeah, so with the events, obviously we have our Horus Heresy No Retreat series, of which we've just completed No Retreat 5, which is amazing. Now, we do have a 40K No Retreat September coming up. And then, of course, we have our grand tournaments that we have put on in the past, as well as other narrative events, RTTs and things like that we do here in Gibraltar. Now, the main priority and focus, given that the channel is a Horus Heresy channel, will be on Horus Heresy-based events. That doesn't mean that we won't look at other events and options in the future, but given that the sole purpose of the channel is going to be to create really engaging Horus Heresy content, we want to supplement that with really good narrative-based
Exactly.
Horus
It
Heresy.
just makes sense, right? If we're going full Horus Heresy, our events have to basically be pushed that way. So again, it's not a goodbye, it's probably a see you later. Maybe when we do have more time in the future, we will start implementing back our 40K events. But in the meantime, this will be our last 40K no retreat for now. Again, our Horus Heresy No Retreat will be back in May 2025. Applications will open very, very soon. And we are also in talks, in big talks, very, very close to obviously taking out the rules pack for our first Horus Heresy Grand Tournament, which will be in November this year. Fingers crossed, everything goes well. We will have an extra event, a big event, 80-player event for basically a grand tournament type of event for Horus Heresy, which is very different, something that we don't see in the Horus Heresy community. So we will have a full-out best in the world narrative event and then have a grand tournament event in one part of the year. So again, that's something that I think is very important to you guys. And apart from that, we will be carrying on doing small RTTs here and there. So keep your eyes peeled in social media.
Exactly. If you're interested in any of those events, don't forget to check out smbattlereports.com. The link in the description below. And essentially you have all the information packed and you kind of get a flavor of what, for example, the No Retreat series is like. It is truly a very special event within the hobbying world. And we get some great feedback from everybody who comes and attends.
It is. And it's very exciting for us as well.
So we know that we're doing Horus Heresy content, and then we know that we're doing Horus Heresy events. Now let's talk about the changes, structural changes to SN. Talk about Patreon, talk about memberships and everything in between.
So I think the first point we want to do is obviously our Patreon. I think that the biggest change is basically our Patreon. So what has happened with our Patreon? Our Patreon is basically a platform for those of you who want to support us more. So there's two different ways to support us. There's YouTube memberships, which is basically for you guys to get extra content, which I know a lot of you that are watching now are members. You've got your little shields beside your name. So if you want extra content, make sure you check the link below and become a member. You will be supporting us with the best way possible by doing that. Now, there's a lot of you who want extra perks and support us more, and that is where Patreon comes in. So do you want to explain a bit about why we're changing Discord? That's the biggest change, Discord. A bit of explanation of what's happened for the last couple of years with Discord, and I think DC can explain.
Yes, essentially. So we had a Discord set up, and I'll be frank and be honest. We find it difficult on top of everything else to engage within the Discord as well as within our various WhatsApp groups, other groups, Facebooks, and all the other stuff. Obviously, social media is a lot, and Instagram is a lot to cover as a small team. And our Discord, we tried our best in various different ways. We made it free, we made it a paid-for tier. We tried different experiments to make it work because we want a forum to engage with people. However, with that, it is a difficult format to continue to grow and build, as well as everything else. So the idea is that we're going to slowly basically move the Discord into WhatsApp. We typically, as a team, operate on WhatsApp. We have many legacy groups from the past with hundreds of hobbyists in there, as well as we all actually work as a team within WhatsApp. And on top of that, our day jobs, a lot of us work in WhatsApp as well. So it's a natural move for us to transition from what we have as a Discord into what's new, which is the communities application within WhatsApp. So now you can have essentially a Discord-style content, but specifically for WhatsApp, which means that we'll be able to give more engagement because we're in there every day, all day anyway. And then we're still going to keep the Discord open for the moment. We're going to transition and move it across. So there's going to be some changes within Discord you'll see. But then also Patreon is going to unlock some opportunities within the WhatsApp communities.
Exactly. So we have been trial and testing the community. We've had a lot of our closer friends and closer hobbyists already in the group trying it out. We have multiple groups in that community itself. We have a group for every single Horus Heresy Legion, every single army, make it Demons of the Runestorm, making it Mechanicum, which is great because we have a lot of community aspect to it, a lot of hobby aspect to it. Apart from that, you do have specific groups for each of the team members. So you have an Ask DC group, you have an Ask Captain Pardo group, and it's great because once we are here, it's much easier for us to give behind the scenes photos, give you updates of everything. There is a specific updates group where you will have updates on battle reports, updates on tournaments, and everything that you normally don't see that is behind the scenes. And just want to incorporate that. We did try to do this in Discord for a long time. We tried, but for us, it was a much bigger investment than we thought to actually have the time to go into Discord and it actually has made us feel bad because we want to be there for you guys that are in the Discord at the moment.
For sure.
And it just is very difficult for us. Whilst WhatsApp is much, much easier. We have been, again, trial and testing it out for the last couple of weeks, and we've been there 100 times more than what we have been in the Discord. So Discord will be slowly moved into the community. So if you are a patron, you've probably already received a message on the Patreon platform to actually link over to our WhatsApp group. And we will basically make the Discord much smaller, all for free.
Yep.
And maybe in the future, we will just close it down or keep it as a free platform with some smaller tiers on there for those of you who still like Discord. But in the meantime, we're moving on to WhatsApp, building a massive global community, which already is being built as we talk. It's getting bigger by hour. It's crazy how much from yesterday, from today, it's actually moved. So if you want to become part of that community, check the link below, become a Patreon. And a bit about Patreon, I think it's important, obviously, that some people get confused because we've got two supporting platforms. We've got SN Plus members platform on YouTube, which actually gives you extra content. And then we've got the Patrons platform, which gives you extra perks for those of you who want to support us even more. You can have your name on the studio wall. You can name one of our models in one of the studio armies. So many more perks. And the most importantly, and the new thing is basically to moving over into the WhatsApp community. So exciting, isn't it?
It's very cool. And then lastly, within the structures of our membership tiers on YouTube, we have a middle one, which is Old World and Horus Heresy. That's going to be changing to pure Horus Heresy, and then the tier below, we'll be slowly phasing that out. So if you're in one of those previous, the first tier there, you need to move over into the middle one. I think it's around like 75p more.
I think it's 75p more, yeah.
It basically helps us in terms of, obviously, funding. YouTube takes their own cut out of all of those, and we want to expand the armies, expand everything. I mean, the fact that without our members, we always say that none of this would happen, and that is actually true.
Everything is going up as well. Like, bills are going up, everything, rent is going up, so we do need to cater, obviously, for those changes. And even if it's 75p more or £1 more, you are helping us a lot. So you can actually now move to that tier for the Horus Heresy content. You will have more content as well going into there, or you can move to our full access, which basically helps us out even more, or you can become an SN Plus legend and join us on the highest tier, which gives you shout outs on live streams as well. So excited about that.
Love those legends.
As we move on, love those legends.
Now, being that middle tier, being Old World, I hear you saying, DC,
what's happening?
What's happening? Why aren't you doing Old World content? I'm still super passionate about Old World. It is my #1 game. Pardo knows this because it's all I talk about. However, some slightly sad news, some sad music playing. I will be leaving for the UK. Yes. So originally I'm from Wales, and I moved over here about 7 years ago.
Maybe even 8.
Yeah.
It feels like much more,
I met Pardo, and it's been a nightmare ever since. But no, we've lived, me and my wife lived in Gibraltar for a good number of years now. But for a couple of good opportunities and reasons and circumstances, we're going to be heading back and moving to Somerset in the UK. In a nutshell, I won't go into it all, but essentially we've lived in the city for a long time, both in Cardiff, here in Gibraltar, etc. And we want kind of a more rural living, and we've had a fantastic opportunity to kind of exercise that and move over there. So yes, you won't see me day to day within the SN studio as much as you have before. I know, sad face, me and Pardo, we've cried a lot about it behind the scenes. I said I wouldn't cry on channel, but yes, it just means that basically I'll be over in the UK, so I'll still be going to events, and I'm still going to try my best to find ways to get content to you for the Old World. Also, I'll do things like just appear on live streams and still help Pardo out in the background as much as I can. But it's going to be sad farewells, but also I'm not going anywhere. I'm also going to be sticking around in terms of events and stuff. So you might see me at some of the No Retreats and other events that we put on as I try and help the team, because I want the channels to grow and succeed just because I'm over there. And lastly, my adventures, you can still find me again on the WhatsApp. I'll still be there chatting away, and you can also find me on my Instagram, Dice Cursed.
So, very sad news, but obviously we have been knowing this was happening for a number of months now. We were obviously in talks behind the scenes of what we would do as we move along. We might bring another member up to help us out with Horus Heresy content. At the same time, we have Stevie G coming much more into the studio, which is great.
Yes,
so a lot to look forward to, but obviously it is a hard hit for the channel.
Just to say, and the reason about the old world content, of course, is that I was very much a driver of the old world content on the channel. Before we kind of knew for certain I was leaving, we wanted to make sure we hit the launch of the old world, and see if we can build it on from there.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you guys, once I take because the bulk of the armies are my own, once that happens, then Pardo would have to invest in all of those new armies, more terrain for the old world, and as he mentioned earlier, all of the game format, how you play it, and
it's too much.
It's too much, right? It's too much.
Apart from that, we have already mentioned the time, effort, and to actually build content in general. So apart from that, it's money investment into armies. We just don't have the money to invest into multiple armies for multiple games. If we all move and invest into one game, which is Horus Heresy, we will build armies to build builder. We will have a lot more legions, which we don't have currently. So it will be helping us out in general with more than just time, but also with investment of money for obviously extra armies and all the rest that comes with it.
Exactly that. So to sum up, it's essentially a combination of the current state of 40k at the moment and where it plays and how it gels with how we love to create content. And then on top of that, of course, it is the time aspect, the amount of time that you can put into one specific game format and do it as best as you can rather than trying to juggle multiple. Obviously then changes to the events and how, again, our events definitely cater towards a Horus Heresy format. And then largely, from my perspective, obviously me being in the UK, I won't be here day to day to record with Pardo, but we still have the team here, and a lot of the team, for example, Stevie G is mad for Horus Heresy, so it just fits perfectly.
Exactly. We have a lot of more people coming back from uni, the likes of Kieran, which you've seen back. He's going to be in the studio. We have Jose all the way from Spain with his beautiful armies. Again, he will be in the studio, and again, we are looking for guests. So if you are interested in becoming one of our guests and being in a battle report or having an army review, you can actually contact us in any of our social medias or our emails. All the links are below, and hopefully we see some of you here recording in the SN studio. So basically a quick roundup, like DC has stated, obviously it's a very sad time for DC leaving, so leave some nice comments, nice ones for a change in the comment section. And again, he will be still appearing in our live streams, hopefully coming over for some holidays and bringing his word bearers again, boo, everybody boo, to actually face some of the SN studio. And again, he will be at all of our events anyway. So it's not a see you later. It is a see you later more than a goodbye. So excited again. Hopefully you guys at home are excited, especially your Horus Heresy enthusiasts. So the important bit right now is to try and support us as much as possible. If you are already a member, make sure to update yourself to this next tier, which will be the main tier for Horus Heresy. If you want to become a patron and get all the extra perks and become part of the WhatsApp global community, again, that is basically becoming a Patreon. And again, hit the like button as much as you can, share with your communities as well, our battle reports and every video that you see, because that helps us out a lot.
It helps grow the channel, and that's what we need. And without you guys, it wouldn't be a thing. So a huge thank you if you were an old school SN subscriber and supporter from the early days, and you're still with us on this journey. A personal thank you from me, because all the support everyone's given you has allowed me to have all the experiences I've had here in the SN studio over the years. So heartfelt thank you from me to you guys, and for all the new Horus Heresy community that might be joining and getting involved, then please jump into the events, get into the community, into the WhatsApp groups, everything else, because it just enhances your hobby experience for sure. So that's the roundup. That's the big news. Horus Heresy on the table for a long time to come. So we'll see you very soon, probably in a battle report.
Excited. So with that said, that's the end of us for today. We'll catch you very, very soon on another video or battle reports. The most important thing, for the Emperor. It's your turn.
For the War Master.
There we go. Goodbye.